Hey everybody, JR from JR's Cars. Does your wiper arm not park in the right place? Or does it not work on high? Or does the intermittent wiper not work properly and it parks partway through the windshield? If it does, stay tuned because I'm going to show you how to fix it without replacing any parts. So like I said, I'm having a problem with my 97 C230 here with the mono wiper. The problem is that if you put it on intermittent, the wiper comes up, it comes around, it stops here, and then it comes back, stops in the middle, stops over here. It's just all over the place. It doesn't park in the right spot. The only way I can get this to work is actually to put it on low speed. And even on low speed, if you turn the stalk off, it'll park wherever you stop it. So it doesn't park back at the driver's side where it should. And then on high, it doesn't work at all. I know the motor's good. I know the motor works. So there's a little thing that we could take a look at here by pulling, there's a cap on the motor itself that has a couple copper contacts in there that we can clean up, and we can see if that fixes our problem here. Because like I said, I know that this motor works. It's just not doing what it's supposed to. And just like I said in the last video about this car here, I absolutely love having service mode and not banging my head on that hood. So what we're looking at getting at is the wiper motor, which is underneath all this cowling here. I've taken this apart before because the aluminum bracket is actually broken that holds everything together. It's zip tied, it's hodgepodge, it's half-assed, kind of thrown together until I get the piece. But I'd like the wiper to at least function properly. So let's get in here and take a look at this. The first thing you got to do with these Mercedes is you see these little clips here. You'd have to push these in and pull this up, right? So there's a little clip here, and then if you come around this side, same thing right over here. You can push those in. Let me go get a screwdriver. And here we are. Let's pop that in, push that forward. See how it clips like that. And we'll do the same here. It goes there. Same thing here. And this piece comes out. Put that aside. Now, we're going to have to do the same thing to the other side. Pull that one off here. And then there's a couple screws. Just Phillips head screws all the way around. We'll get those out. There's a couple down here. And then what we're going to do is there's these little clips right here. They will pull back and pull up. You hear it pop. It does that. All right. So this will start coming up. We'll get these screws out. And then there's a 10 millimeter on the end here. So we'll get all those pieces out, and then we'll come back when this is out of the way. All right, now that it's out, you can kind of see where all the little clips are here, right? So you're going to see there, that clip. There's one right there. This is right around where the mono wiper is. So those clips will have to come out. There's that one there, and those there. And then that 10 millimeter on the side there. Now, like I said, it's a little bit difficult when you're getting in there because you're having to pull these back. So what would help you is if you have a little small pry bar, maybe about the width of a flathead screwdriver that had the crow's foot on the end of it, to get behind it and give it a pop, because you won't be able to get your fingers in there. It is very tight in that area, and that's where everything has to come out, especially in this area over here. There's a couple clips that are here. All right, so here's where we are now that cowl is out of the way. Here's your mono wiper. Here's your motor. This is what we're going to be getting at. And again, don't mind the zip ties here, like I said, because I'm waiting for the aluminum bracket here had broken over this way where the motor attaches to it. So I'm waiting for the aluminum bracket to come in, but I still need the wiper to be able to work properly too. So you make do with what you have, right? I mean, that's how it is. So this is what we're looking at here. All these screws need to come out. This is the electronics that are coming into the motor. And then behind this, there's a little copper wheel that tells the car where the position of the motor is. So what my thought is that over time things wear out. As things wear out, there's dielectric grease that's in there too. The dielectric grease will end up caking up in there. It'll take all the little shavings and it'll give it a false reading where the position of the motor is. So what we're going to do is, these are T20 screws. We're going to take all of these screws out, and then we're going to pull this plate off, and then we're going to see how everything looks inside here. And while you're doing this, make sure that you have one of these magnetic trays to put the screws in so you don't lose any of them. All right, all the screws are out. So let's see what we have behind door number 1. Oh yeah. Unfortunately, looking back at the videos that I recorded, there's a clip or two that's missing, so we're just going to have to do it this way. If you look at the center of the motor there, right where that conductor plate is, if you look on the left-hand side of it, right where this arrow's pointing to, you'll see that there's a rust spot that's in there. Now, I don't know how long this car sat before we bought it, so it's a possibility there was some water that got in there and caused it, but it can cause intermittent connectivity issues between the conductor plate and the fingers that are on the front. So what we're going to have to do is go in there with some Scotch-Brite. We'll clean it all up. If you look around the rest of it too, it looks a little gummy, looks a little worn out. So I'll clean that all up too, make sure that it's nice and clean, and we'll get good contact. So if you look at the top plate now, you could see that there's 3 fingers that are on the top that would touch that conductor plate. The centermost finger wasn't even touching anything, was bent backwards. So that could be the reason why the high never worked, because the motor itself didn't know that anything was happening because there was no connection to it. So what we'll have to do is we'll have to bend that one back. We'll bend the other 2 back a little bit more too, just so they make a little bit better connection. And then we'll clean everything up. Like I said, we're going to use some Scotch-Brite, clean up that conductor plate, and then we'll put it all back together. But what are we going to use to clean and lubricate the motor? This is what we're going to be using. You want to go out and get some Cutie electronic cleaner and some dielectric grease. The electronic cleaner, we're going to use that to spray out everything that's in there, make sure that it's nice and clean. This is electronics part cleaning specific. You don't want to use something like brake clean or anything like that, throttle body cleaner. It's not the right stuff. You want to go out and get this. It is a little bit expensive, but you'll use it for other things too. Then, like I said, we're going to use some dielectric grease. Once we have it all cleaned, we'll put some of the grease on there, make sure that everything is well lubricated, and then we'll put it all back together. Right now, what I'm doing is just feeling this to see if there's any grooves or any metal shavings or anything like that on there, but it feels really good. It's nice and smooth. We'll clean it up just a tiny touch more. Now, what we want to do is we want to pull these back out. Give these a little clean here too. Get these contact. What I'm looking at here is this last one here feels a little bit rough around the edges there. So I might have to take a little bit of a file to it just to get it smooth. It actually feels a little bit better now, but I'm going to clean this one up just a little bit more, and then I'll come right back. Alrighty, so what I have a feeling that's going on, being that we had a rust spot on the right, on that side over here, it was probably turning and then thinking that it was hitting a dead spot because there was no connectivity with the electronic motor, so it would just stop, and then it would start up again, and then it would stop, and then it would start and go all the way around and then hit that rust spot again. Similarly with the high-speed one, being that this this contact here was bent completely backwards. There was just no contact at all. It wasn't even contacting this in the motor, so it just wasn't working at all. And you can kind of see now, see this one here, this is for your low speed. Now, I was told by the previous owner that it only worked on one speed, so you could see how worn out that one looks there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to drop a little dielectric grease in here, because that's where this is going to ride as well, right? This is your bushing that it's going to ride on. I'm going to put just a smidge of dielectric grease around these contact points, and then we'll put this all back together, and then we'll give it a test. All right, this is all back together. Now is the moment of truth. Alrighty, here we go. Let's see, here's intermittent. Nice. Here's low. So that's great. Let's turn it off and see if it parks. There it goes. Now let's put it on high. All right, so high still doesn't work. Something's still up with the high, but I'll definitely take this. All right, so I'm going to turn it off when it gets to the passenger side. Turn it off. There it goes. It parks in the right position now. And the intermittent works. You know what? As Meatloaf said, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. All right, so there it is. My guess is that that one pin that was really bent backwards is just not making good contact. It started making a little bit of contact, but it wasn't very happy with it. I'm still okay with at least the intermittent wiper working correctly and the low speed working correctly and parking in the correct position. As you can see, it's parked on the driver's side. It never did that before. So I'll take that as a win no matter which way you look at it. I don't have to buy a new motor right now. The only thing I have to worry about is getting that aluminum bracket, but that's for another video. So do me a favor, if this helped you out, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and drop your comments down below and let me know if you've had this problem before too. Not even just on a Mercedes, but on any car, because honestly, this can happen with any car out there that has a windshield wiper with a motor on it, which every car does. I hope everybody's staying safe out there, and I'll catch you all in the next video.